There are just 2 days left of 2018, and while some of you may have New Year's bashes to look forward to, there is only one thing on our agenda. That's right, the opening of the January transfer window. It was a busy month last time out with some big name movers, and more of the same is expected in the coming weeks. Is there anywhere for Liverpool to strengthen as they sit pretty at the top? How can Manchester City and Tottenham claw back the leaders? And what do Manchester United, Arsenal and Chelsea need to make the top 4? We will have all the latest gossip, rumours and done deals right here. Key EventsDeclan Rice extends West Ham contract 18-17 Hazard playing waiting GAME 09051150 David AndersonBruce set for Hillsborough Sheffield Wednesday are set to confirm his appointment as manager this week. Wednesday are understood to have agreed terms on a £2 million a year contract with Bruce to succeed Jos Luhukay. Bruce, 57, is the Isles' #1 choice to take over at Hillsborough, and it is believed they lined him up before sacking Dutchman Luhukay on December 21. Bruce, who began his managerial career at city rivals Sheffield United, told Wednesday he wanted to spend Christmas and New Year with his family after losing both parents this year. His backroom coaches Steve Agnew and Stephen Clemence have already started watching Wednesday in preparation for his arrival, and the Owls hope he will in place for Saturday's FA Cup tie with Luton. Sheffield Wednesday are set to confirm S appointment as manager this week. 11:27 Saints I Southampton are eyeing a move for Olympiacos defender Omar Elabdellaoui. The 27-year-old had a previous loan spell in the Premier League with Hull in 2017. Saints boss Ralph Hasenhuttl is a big admirer and wants to strengthen his defense, reports the Mail. $10.50 Pulisic set for Chelsea. German journalist Raphael Honigstein thinks Christian Pulisic is heading for Chelsea. The Blues are favourites to land the Borussia Dortmund star, with Liverpool cooling their interest. And Honigstein told Sunday Supplement that a bid has been made by the Premier League side. $10.33 Solskjaer advice to Martial and De Gea. Manchester United boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has urged David De Gea and Anthony Martial to sign new contracts and make Old Trafford history. United have been forced to take up the options of 12-month extensions with both players after talks stalled over fresh deals. But the club will push once more to secure their long-term futures in the new year, after sacking Jose Mourinho as manager and installing Solskjaer until the end of the term. The Norwegian caretaker said, "I know the club want them to sign, of course, because they are top-quality players. Manchester United boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has urged David De Gea and Anthony Martial to sign new contracts and make Old Trafford history. United have been forced to take up the options of 12-month extensions with both players after talks stalled over fresh deals. But the club will push once more to secure their long-term futures in the new year, after sacking Jose Mourinho as manager and installing Solskjaer until the end of the term. The Norwegian caretaker said, "I know the club want them to sign, of course, because they are top-quality players. It's down to the players, but when you're at Man United there isn't a lot of greener grass on the other side." You are at the best place. It's the biggest club in the world. 1017 Zappacosta lined up as Plan B. Lazio will make a move for Chelsea defender David Zappacosta if they again fail to convince Manchester United to sell them Matteo Darmian. Zappacosta was a £22 million signing from Torino in August 2017, but has made just 10 appearances for the Blues this season and played just twice as a sub in the Premier League, with new boss Maurizio Sarri using a four-man defence. The Romans have been monitoring the 26-year-old Italian's situation at Stamford Bridge as an alternative to United outcast Darmian. They wanted Darmian in the summer, but failed to tempt United into selling a player who cost them £12. "7 meters, ironically, also from Torino, 3 years ago. Dowker to Chiking to Villa. Dean Smith is closing in on the signing of Levante midfielder Chike Dowker. Aston Villa's boss is fighting off the attention of Rayo Vallecano to land the 26-year-old on a loan deal until the end of the season. The Ivory Coast international is well known to the club's new sporting director Jesus Garcia Pitach, who has strong links in the region. The player is out of favour at the Valencia club and will be allowed to leave. 0904 loan deal for Baxter. Chelsea are looking for another loan for young goalkeeper Nathan Baxter. The 20-year-old has impressed while at Yeovil this season, but The Sun reports the Blues are eager for him to test himself in the Championship. (8:32) Simon Bird Bowen not going on cheap. Premier League target Gerard Bowen won't be allowed leave Hull City on the cheap. Boss Nigel Adkins has warned. The £10 million rated young English winger has grabbed 10 goals this season, including 6 in his last 6 games. Bowen has been scouted by a host of Premier League clubs including Spurs, Everton and Brighton, plus Leeds, who he scored twice against at the weekend. Adkins wants to keep Bowen and is not under pressure to sell. 8:14 Hummels deadline set. Chelsea have been set a deadline for their reported pursuit of Mats Hummels, reports The Sun. The Blues are thought to be eyeing a £30 million move for the Bayern Munich defender. But Bayern want a deal done by no later than January 14 to give them time to sign a replacement. Not nice to keep them waiting. Mario Balotelli has been told to make up his mind about his plans as Nice grow tired of his indecision. I have given Mario a few extra days off to think about his future and what he wants to do," manager Patrick Vieira said. "He's under contract here, and everything is possible. If we can come to a common agreement, who knows?" The former Manchester City striker is said to be keen to move on. Moscow moved for Saints Manolo. CSKA Moscow are offering strugglers Southampton the chance of offloading goal-shy hitman Manolo Gabbiadini. The Italian international has only scored 12 goals in 3 seasons at St Mary's following his £15 million move from Napoli. Ralph Hasenhuttl is keen to dump some of his underperforming players next month, and Gabbiadini, who has only scored 1 this season, is among them. He is wanted back in Serie A by Fiorentina and Bologna, but they are both only interested in loan moves with an option to buy. Hasenhuttl would rather a permanent deal, which CSKA are willing to offer, as well pay around £5 million to get their man. German giants Hudson-Odoi Borussia Dortmund want another young English starlet, but their big rivals do too. Chelsea's Callum Hudson-Odoi is attracting the Germans' interest, with Bayern Munich now joining the race. The attacking midfielder has already been the subject of an ambitious £13.5 million bid, Sky Sport claimed. The Blues have knocked it back and aren't keen to sell. Ginelli is Preston's tonic. Former Burnley man Josh Ginelli is set to join Preston the moment the transfer window opens. Walsall's winger has agreed a deal with the Championship club. Manager Dean Keats told the Express and Star. "We've had a concrete bid, it's all been accepted, everything's in place, and he will join the club. He is going to, as of January 1. (22-21) Batshuayi offered to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace have reportedly been offered the chance to sign Michy Batshuayi, but they've said no. Palace are looking for a new striker, and Het Lots News via Sport Witness suggests the Belgian would move to Selhurst Park. The forward is currently on loan at Valencia, but the Spanish side want to cut the deal short. But the bat isn't right for the Eagles. Roy Hodgson has decided Solanke is a striker in demand. The race is on to sign Liverpool striker Dominic Solanke in January. Brighton and Hove Albion are considering a permanent bid in the transfer window. Steve Gerrard is also keen to bring him to Rangers, but it would have to be a loan deal. Huddersfield and Crystal Palace are also look at the 21-year-old. 2115 Lambert wants Borough pair. Ipswich Town are waiting to hear if Middlesbrough will loan Rudy Gested and Grant Leadbitter. Tractor Boys boss Paul Lambert would happily take both to Portman Road, but it is still unclear if Teessiders chief Tony Pulis will sanction the temporary switch. Borough do have a long-standing interest in Ipswich defender Jonas Knudsen, and that may play a part in pushing any deal over the line. Middlesbrough do have other players they will loan and are hoping there is interest in Britt Assombalonga, while Ashley Fletcher is another who could leave, with Hull City hoping to be in the mix for his services. Ipswich Town are waiting to hear if Middlesbrough will loan Rudy Gestede and Grant Leadbitter. (1734) Cardiff close in on Klein. Cardiff are confident of winning the race to sign Liverpool defender Nathaniel Klein on loan. The 27-year-old has been back on the scene at Anfield in recent weeks, but will move down the pecking order again when Joe Gomez returns to fitness. Fulham and Leicester have also shown an interest in taking the right back next month. But Bluebirds boss Neil Warnock is hopeful that his past association with Klein, the pair worked together at Crystal Palace, will give him the edge. Warnock handed Klein his debut at Selhurst Park, and he will go straight into the starting lineup at Cardiff. (1624) Roof for Newcastle. Rafa Benitez is considering a move for Leeds striker Kemar Roof if funds for new signings are made available to him. The 25-year-old has scored 13 goals in 18 games for the Championship promotion Chasers. And Toon boss Benitez knows he'd bring the firepower he is looking to add at St James Park. Leeds, however, are well aware that Roof's goals will be vital to them if they want to reach the Premier League. Although a good offer will at least give them a decision to make. Roof cost Leeds £3 million when he joined from Oxford in 2016, but that deal has proved to be a bargain. £15.39 No replacement for Fernandinho. Manchester City have no plans to sign a replacement for Fernandinho. The Brazilian has missed both of City's last two matches' defeats to Palace and Leicester. But Pep Guardiola insists there is nobody out there like the Brazilian. 1517 Terriers. I non-league star Huddersfield Town are set to win the race for Leyton Orient starlet Joshua Koroma. The 20-year-old has come through the youth ranks at Brisbane Road and is highly regarded. He was being tracked by Aston Villa, Derby, and Middlesbrough, but the Terriers are now in pole position to hand him a dream move to the Premier League. (1445) Watford youngster on the move. Watford winger Randell Williams is being lined up for a January switch. The 21-year-old has been on loan in League One Wycombe Wanderers and has impressed for Gareth Ainsworth's side. Watford are ready to let Williams leave, and Wycombe would like to keep him on a permanent basis, but there is big interest for him elsewhere. Brentford, Bristol City and Portsmouth are all believed to have spoken to Watford about a potential deal for the former Crystal Palace wide man. 1400 hours Tosun set to stay Cenk Tosun is unlikely to return to Turkey in January. The striker has had a frustrating time at Everton this season, having arrived from Besiktas in January. Fenerbahce are said to be keen on a loan deal, but Tosun wants to prove himself in the Premier League. (1358) Villa recall Elphick. Tommy Elphick is heading back to Villa. The former Bournemouth defender had been on loan at Hull. But he is moving back to Villa Park as they look to solve their defensive crisis. (1332) Face on Iron blow. Newcastle could be about to admit defeat in their pursuit of Miguel Almiron. The Paraguayan has been linked with a move to Newcastle for some time amid reports a £15 million deal had been struck. But Atlanta are looking for closer to £30 million for the player, and Rafa Benitez does not have the funds to pay that sum. (1301) Latest on Modric. Croatia star Luka Modric has turned down an offer of a new contract at Real Madrid as he looks to make his exit from the club, writes Telemadrid. The Ballon d'Or winner has been strongly linked with Serie A side Inter Milan, with his contract due to run out in 2020. Inter were keen on bringing the World Cup Golden Ball winner to the San Siro in the summer, but were unable to strike a deal. Modric is among a number of stars seeking moves away from the club, as Madrid have struggled with form since the departure of Zinedine Zidane. (1219) Diaz on the move. Manchester City youngster Brahim Diaz is closing in on a move to Real Madrid. The 19-year-old is out of contract in the summer and shows no sign of signing a new deal. Real are eager to snap him up in January, though, and are reportedly ready to make a £15 million bid. (1140) No Reds deal for Pulisic. Liverpool are unlikely to make a move for Christian Pulisic. The Dortmund star continues to be linked with a move to Anfield, with Chelsea also interested. Reports this week said the Reds were lining up a £45 million bid, but the Liverpool Echo reports they are wide of the mark. (1119) Cahill to Villa. Unlikely Championship side Aston Villa will no longer be making a move for Chelsea's Gary Cahill, The Telegraph reports. Chelsea are ready to let Cahill leave the club in the January transfer window and have held talks with Villa about a potential loan deal. However, a deal for the 33-year-old centre-back now looks unlikely because of the cost involved. Bringing Cahill back to Villa Park would be an expensive proposition, with a 6-month deal alone costing up to £4 million, including his wages and a loan fee. 11,510 players out of contract this summer. Premier League clubs will have their January transfer plans drawn up as they look to boost their hopes for the remainder of the season. But transfer chiefs will also have one eye on next summer, with targets likely on the agenda. There will be a host of sides eyeing bargain deals or even considering players who will be free agents by the end of the season. While Premier League sides are unable to reach pre-contract agreements with stars currently playing in England, they can do so with those on the continent. With that in mind, here are 10 players who could agree moves to your club in January.